Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. Let's now get into talk of Ghana's first game at the Chan tournament against Madagascar. 2-1 is how that game ended. Ghana losing that game. Not the brightest start for the competition. I know Walker, remember, promised that his team will win this tournament. It's not looking good so far. Let's see if we can break down that particular game. Coach, it wasn't pretty. We had decent preparations going into this competition. In the end, we've ended up losing to the team we perceive to be the weakest in the group.
Look, I watched the game. If you ask us to, I was with him when I said I really wanted to watch the game and see how it goes. And for me, when the game started, I saw two things. I saw that we had disrespected our opponent. We thought that come what may, we'll beat them. So the approach of our boys were very, very lackluster, very sluggish in possession. Go back to the first goal. We had several opportunities to get rid of the ball. We decided to show a bit more belief and confidence and build from the back. Anytime we attempted passing through them, they pressed us so well that we're forced to go back to Danlad, our goalkeeper. Now, on the third time of asking, Danlad actually did so well with his distribution. He gave the ball out wide to the right fullback, whose body position and control was shocking to me. Because the Danlad pass was about a 35-40 yarder, and it was hit at a very comfortable level. That, in my view, should have allowed him to control the ball forward. Rather, he waited for the ball and controlled the ball backwards towards our goal. He got blocked off, completely dispossessed. And then they saw the gap and they attacked. You remember I spoke about the lack of understanding in our center backs. And today it was so clear, so evident. Again, the pass that came completely got the two of them out of it. And it took our left back, who did so well in tracking down the goal scorer. Danlad made the first saves. But if you go back, it is so sad that the highlight is not ready yet. If you go back to the sequence, when the ball went past the two centre-back, they were still caught ball watching. Because if they had followed the ball, when Danlad made the first save, at least one of them could have put in the tackle. The first save came there, and the next ball was just in the empty net. So that, I became suspect of the right back because his technique, very, very poor. And we started playing. But anytime we decided to build a game, once we couldn't do that successfully, Danlad simply decided that he would not pass the ball to any of his back line. Anytime the ball got to him, boom, got to him, boom. And there were times where he came out of his goalpost, took control of the ball. Instead of playing to the defenders or playing to the midfielders, he always targeted Barnier and his strike partner. Barnier and his strike partner, we all know, they are not very good in the air. So why would you keep ballooing the ball? Last week I spoke about our strength being the technical team. And I was shocked when I saw Danlad continually balloo the ball towards Barnier and his strike partner. Okay, we were not successful with that.
I think after the goal, he was spooked. He must have been spooked that if I give it to these defenders.
No, but there were moments where even without the press, he could have passed. You see, anytime they are being pressed, then if you decide to go long, it makes sense. But when there was no Madagascar player closer to the center back or any of our midfielders, why were you hitting the ball on? Because anytime he was not only ignoring the back four, he was also ignoring the midfielder. That is what makes it even more serious. When you go this way, the midfielders will just be doing this. They'll be doing it. We need people to get in charge. There was Glass in Awaku. Put him in charge. Let him play. We couldn't do that. We went for recess thinking that when we come back, there'll be some good tactical switches. I saw that the RTU boy, is he Abagna?
David Abagna.
In that first half, he was playing as one of our forward liner. All of a sudden, they changed the holding midfielder, brought him in to come and now pick up the ball from the center back and then begin to what? Do the one, be the orchestra of our tempo. I was asking myself, is he that good? If he is that good in that position, why didn't you start with him there? Than to rather start with your first choice holding midfielder, who we also could get on the ball and pass. But because we're trailing, panic decision, 45 minutes to go, you do that. And the moment he took him off, We were lacking some bite up from the gate. It was only Barnier who was forcing the issue. Then go and look at the second goal we conceded. I was shocked because after the right fullback gave the goal, or gave the first goal away, I think the highlight I'm suspecting is
so we have Ghana's only goal of the game. Let's see if we can check it out briefly, and then Coach can just round up on his points before we finally take this one.
Okay, so this is our only goal. It wasn't a shot. I'm sure this was a missed cross.
Yeah.
You can clearly see. So it was after the right back gave the 2 goals away. That was when the technical team saw the need to effect the substitution. This was bad positioning on the part of the Madagascar goalkeeper. But that right back should have been substituted after the first 20 to 30 minutes.
I think Randolph is the one you're talking about.
Yes, Randolph actually, he should have been taken off. If you look at the goal he gave away, Charlie, it was a simple pass to Danlad, and then he just messed up the pass. Danlad then was a bit far off.
Yeah.
The guy just went past him, banged into. But look, apart from the giveaway, I wasn't impressed with our build-up. There was absolutely no chemistry in our transition. You couldn't see the link from defense to midfield to attack. Anytime we decided to go forward, in that first half in particular, we went long. We were not having, this is Ghana. Our defenders and our midfielders are usually very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
So if between those two lines, we should be able to do some transition and then feed the forward line. There was no win play. There was absolutely nothing. And for me, look, it's a bit shocking to me because I had already said that the best this team, the least they can do actually, is to get to the quarterfinals. And from what we have seen, I think we should be lucky the Moroccans are not in the tournament. We should be very, very happy. But even that, we thought that this would have been our easiest game. But look, go and watch this game again. The ease with which the Madagascar team just passed the ball through our team as if we didn't have any tactical shape. You know what? It's like we didn't do any homework on them.
Yeah.
That is shocking to me, looking at the level of the technical team we have. Prosper Ogum, Ano Walker, I wasn't expecting this. We can only wait and see. Because
we have Sudan next.
We have Sudan next to play. I don't know whether Sudan will play Madagascar before they play us first. I don't know what the
I think Morocco was our last game.
Yeah, Morocco was our last game. Now, they have sat down or they've had a rest.
Yeah.
They are yet to play. I don't know whether their next game is against Ghana or Madagascar.
I think their first game now will be us.
We are in deep, deep trouble.
Yeah.
We are in deep, deep trouble. I would have preferred them play Madagascar for us to know the outcome of that game before playing them. Because we know that if they play Madagascar and they draw, if we beat them, we are through. Then Madagascar already would have cemented.
So there you have it there on your screen. So Ghana versus Sudan is our next game.
Wow.
That's what we have next coming up.
That makes it even more tricky.
Just quick thoughts, Susu, on Morocco pulling out or not showing up for their game. Now we have to play Sudan. We are up against it with no points.
Well, you see, this Morocco-Algeria issue is way bigger than football. I think this is just a microcosm of like the whole kind of issue they have, because to the point that their land border, I think, has been closed since 1994 or something like that. So you can't fly, you can't go between the countries. So they've closed off diplomatic relations. So their relationship between the countries is very tense. It's very tense. So the idea of letting a plane from Morocco flying to Algeria, a plane from
and they specifically said they wanted to fly their national airline into Algeria.
Both, I think part of it was both. It was what's the word I'm looking for? They were playing a game of chicken. You know, they were trying to test each other to see what the other would do. I think the Moroccans were trying to win some points by flying directly and flying their national. They were trying to prove a point, and the Algerians were not having it. But this Western Sahara issue is a very deep issue, to the point that Morocco has left the AU because of this issue. So it's not a small issue. We can come and say that, oh, it's because of football, let them play. I agree that sometimes CAF, knowing these things, should have tried to figure a workaround for it. But at the same time, there's only so much CAF can do when countries have decided they've picked positions. So it's very unfortunate because Morocco were one of the best teams. Defending
champions, they don't get to defend their crown.
Exactly. We've been denied one of the best teams in the competition coming to play.
Just a quick one on that. In this modern day, this is absolute nonsense. in this modern era?
Yeah.
This is absolute nonsense. This should not be allowed to happen anyway. Do you think if, assuming this was the World Cup being hosted by Algeria, do you think FIFA would allow this to happen?
Well, what's going on is that this particular incident that has happened has actually affected Algeria's chances of hosting any other future tournaments. Because
of course,
as things stand now, CAF and FIFA are actually really upset over these issues.
yes.
Like I said, Infantino and Motsepe have been engaging Algeria's leadership since about early December
Exactly.
to try and resolve these issues.
Exactly.
But
Because it is very clear that
yeah.
it isn't that the Moroccans were not ready to come.
No,
They were ready to come and
yeah.
defend their
Yep,
title.
yep.
But the problem is that we will not allow you to fly from Morocco.
Yeah.
What is
But
that?
you
This
see,
is
if
football.
certain countries
You
hosted-
can say we will not allow any Algerians to come apart from the football team. They don't mind. They'll bring their team and come
But
and
you
play.
see, these things do tend to happen because this is why Israel, for example, plays in UEFA. Because none of their neighbors will play against them. They won't allow any Israelis to come to their country. So we do see these things happening. We see some strange outcomes. So, because if you look at where Israel is, why is Israel playing UEFA?
Yep.
And all the countries around them are playing in AFC. It just so happens that none of them want to play with Israel. And it's even it will be a security issue
see,
on both sides
This
to
is,
have it go through.
of course, I understand what, but that's a bit different from what is here. This is not Algeria not saying so. Assuming Morocco were to come and they were to play Algeria in the final. Algeria and Morocco, they say they will not play the final or what?
Why?
It's always
absolute
very
nonsense.
Because it means that now if they're ever drawn in the same qualifying group for
Can
the
you
World
imagine
Cup
what
or
could happen?
AFCON, they basically are saying that either the two...
something has to give between the
Yeah,
two of
well,
them.
it means that if they are drawn in the same qualifying group, they won't play. Or
Yep.
for playoffs,
Because
they
somebody
won't
will
play.
have to go to somebody's country, somebody will have to go to somebody's country.
If this is the precedent that's being set,
Yep.
it means that they won't play.
It's
Because
a very problematic.
unless they decide to host at a neutral venue, which could be
Okay, which
what
FIFA and or CAF would have
can do.
said.
Like they will have go and play your games, play one game in Egypt and play your two games in Egypt, something like that.
It's just a very problematic situation. But let me read a few messages before we get into some Premier League highlights there.